Hey everybody, welcome back. It's been a while. I think I mentioned on my last video, we were in the process of moving, so I am finally in my new location. Today I wanted to share something with you around Home Assistant and interacting with other devices out there in the world by radio, using something called SDR, or Software Defined Radio. If you're not familiar with SDR already, it's just a really tiny, inexpensive USB dongle that allows you to capture radio signals in frequencies that you define. There are unlicensed radio bands that are used for communication. Great examples of where you see this but might not realize it would be like utility meters on homes and apartments, for example. We're pretty much past the days of the people walking around and reading meters physically. There's still a little bit of that, but for the most part, your natural gas, your water, your electricity, those utilities are all read by the utility company remotely. And those signals that go out are something that you actually can grab and read. There's also other interesting things that broadcast. The reason I ended up kind of down this rabbit hole was I was looking to build a new weather station. And I ended up stumbling upon somebody that was using an SDR to feed that data into their Home Assistant, which, yes, we do want to do that. If you live in an area that's relatively well populated, if you have, a neighborhood with homes around you, chances are somebody around you might already have a weather station set up, and you can just read that signal. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not doing anything bad to their weather station. You're just reading the data that it's openly broadcasting without actually needing to own the weather station hardware itself. And also that lets me read my utility meters as well. So I'm able to pull that data in. So I wanted to share how to get that set up and integrated into your Home Assistant so you can start seeing what is being broadcasted around you. And this is one kind of step into a few different projects I have going related to radio frequency. I think to start, maybe we should go on a quick tour. Let's do it. Let's go. Field trip. Story time, right? That's for another video. Let's take a quick peek in here. A lot of this is stuff I'm going to share with you guys in the near future here. That's my nice ARM-based Docker Swarm cluster. At the very end here, meat and potatoes of what we're working with today. On the far right there, that's a Raspberry Pi 5, which is the core of my Home Assistant. Next to it, this is what we're talking about today, a Rock 4, and it has its USB connection here is going to an SDR, and it hooks up to this little guy. So this is a SDR, a software defined radio. These guys are pretty inexpensive. I'll throw a link down below. Pretty good kit, very inexpensive, very reliable. They don't run hot. I know a lot of people have issues with different brands of these SDRs that tend to run a little hot. This one doesn't. I don't really have those problems. So hey, that's what the hardware looks like. Let's go back to the desk and check out how we get all this set up. Okay, so we've seen the hardware. And now let's take a look at the software behind the scenes. We're going to be using a Docker container called RTL 433. So we'll take a quick peek at the repository so you know what we're talking about. Links to all this is down below, so don't worry about trying to capture this. And over in Home Assistant, we're going to use a add-on that helps to feed the MQTT data from the devices that you capture, and so that they'll tie together into a single device within Home Assistant. Then over in Home Assistant itself, I want to show you where these come in to MQTT. The RTL 433 package communicates out by MQTT. Perfect. So we'll point that at the same broker that your Home Assistant is talking to so that we can feed those items into here. Now you can see if I just kind of scroll here, as I've been capturing for quite some time, there's a lot of things that show up. This is all just within proximity to me. So, I've got some frequencies that I monitor, certain spectrums that I watch, and I'll show you how you kind of pare down the devices you're looking at so you don't get overwhelmed with stuff that maybe you're just not interested in. So it doesn't just totally eat up your MQTT integration here. Let's take a look at each one of these. Starting with the RTL 433 container. This is the source repo for that. You don't have to worry too much about this, but I just like to always demonstrate that this is an open source package, actively maintained, and there's a lot of good community around this particular project. But this is the core of what is going to actually within Docker, talk to your SDR and capture whatever radio frequencies are surrounding you, parse those and translate those into readable data, because just because you have a radio frequency doesn't mean you can read it and do anything with it. Next, let's just dive straight into the container. I think this is the important part. In your Docker environment, and this is a little out of scope of what this project is for, so if you're not super familiar with Docker yet, I've got a lot of other great videos on getting started with Docker, how to work with Docker Compose, how to properly format your Compose files, all those things. So assuming you're up to speed at that, you'll see a familiar folder and file structure that I tend to use, and hopefully that works well for you as well. I'll share this full Compose file so you don't have to try to pause and capture the data out of here, but we'll step through this pretty quickly here just so you understand what we're looking for. It's just running that simple RTL 433 package. We see the image indicated here is actually for ARM. That command option there is going to tell the package inside the container where to read its configuration file so that we have a predictable path there. And then we have the volumes to mount in, just time zone, and then that configuration file itself as a read-only option. And then the final item in there is the devices section. So this is where we allow the container and then the RTL 433 package to have direct access to that USB SDR device. So before we start the container, why don't we take a look at the config file itself? And you can grab this config from that repository so that you have something good to start with. There's a lot of features in here that are commented out or have a lot of notation around them, which is very helpful as you're learning. But you can skinny this file out quite a bit once you get really comfortable with it. First of all, we have verbose logging enabled, very helpful when you're trying to understand what kind of data is coming in. You leave your gain set to 0, which is actually auto. And then this section down here with the frequencies, you'll see I have a lot of frequencies defined, however commented out. I'm in the US, so this is a good representation of the range of frequencies that are unlicensed that we'll be targeting for devices that will be broadcasting. So that range of 433 up to 925 megahertz, that's kind of that range where you're going to find interesting devices. Now, for me in particular, devices that I'm looking for, I've found that this 915 megahertz frequency is kind of a sweet spot. I see an awful lot of the things that I am looking to capture data out of. They do some frequency hopping, so that works well for me for what I'm looking for. There's also an option down here called hop interval. So if you have more than one frequency defined, this is how often it's going to cycle through those frequencies. So, and then the lower option here, sample rate. So 1 million as in 1 megahertz. That would be how wide at the center channel of the frequency that you've defined, how far above and below that center point are you listening? How wide is that slice of spectrum that you're listening to? The wider that sample rate that you're examining, the more processing power it takes, the more you're going to hear, so the chances that the radio can't really pick the signal out to parse that you're looking for is greater. So as you're learning this, it's definitely a good thing to fiddle with and tune. Just see what you can see out there with different sample rates. You can go up as high as 3.2 megahertz, which is pretty wide, which means at any one point in time, you're getting a lot of data in. So can you actually slice that apart, all the signal and noise, and actually get what you're looking for? So if you were to set that to 3.2 megahertz, the upper limit out of a single slice of time, our center frequency is 915. So that means we're going to go 1.8 megahertz down from that and 1.8 megahertz up from that. So we'll be listening around like 913 megahertz up to around 917 megahertz, just a little under. What you'll probably find is that reading that signal on its regular interval is a bit spotty. So what you can do then is say, all right, I detected what I was looking for at 915.9 megahertz. Perfect. So you could set a frequency on here of that center channel and then drop the sample rate down significantly, say at a 215K, which would be a quarter of a megahertz, right? And then you can have additional frequencies in there that you are hopping across, so that at any time when you're scanning that, you're getting a narrower and cleaner, less signal to noise ratio of data coming in at any one time. But it's all nuanced. There's a bit of an art to it. So play with it, see what works for you. Okay, coming down a little further, we're looking for the output section. Output of log, KV, and JSON formatting is default. MQTT is the one you're going to want to turn on in order to be sending what it finds out to your MQTT broker so that Home Assistant can find it and we can do something interesting with the data. So you want to plug in the information for your MQTT broker here. And then finally, we're down into the protocols section, effectively parsers of those data streams. So as people in the community and the developers of this application have learned how to parse those data streams for particular devices when they broadcast, this is that very long running list. There's a few hundred of them in here that you want to enable to help find the device you're looking for. So for example, looking at this list here, if what I'm looking for is a Lacrosse TX temperature and humidity sensor, let's say I know there's one out there, or it's mine, or my neighbor who I'm friendly with has one, I'm going to make sure that protocol is enabled. I'm going to use my frequencies we were looking at before and our sample rates to find it. And that way, when it does get a match on it, we'll see that come through and we'll see what data it's outputting. When you're first learning this, having all of these ones enabled, you're going to get a lot of data coming out of here. And that's fun as you're learning it. You're like, oh my gosh, that's cool. There's all this data just flying around me I had no idea about. Super cool. You'll see a lot of things, like for example, a very common one is called TPMS sensors, which that's the tire pressure monitoring system on most modern cars. You'll see those fly in there and you'll be like, oh my goodness, that's cool. I can see the tire pressure on a car that just drove by. Eventually that just becomes noise, right? You don't really want that data. Maybe you want to get it just for your car, but for the most part, I comment all those out. I mean, it's just a bunch of noise, like a bunch of different sensors for either proprietary home alarm systems, various car keys. You'll want to go through here and decide what things are interesting and meaningful for you and which ones are not. Just comment them out, put that hashtag in the front of it and that'll comment it out. As far as the configuration file, this is all there is to it. So you come in here and tune this as needed. So once you launch the container, docker compose up-d, and I think the best way to see what's going on inside and what kind of data might be gathered is to just tail out the logs of that Docker container. So it'll be docker logs-f for follow, and then the name of the container, RTL-433. All of this data is streaming in here and it's just kind of flowing by. You'll see it kind of coming and going in groups. So, you know, I've been doing this for a while, so I'm kind of familiar just at a glance what most of these things are. So I'm seeing, for example, SCM Plus, those are natural gas meters in my area. I'm seeing some weather stations. Hey, that's what we started this conversation around. I see a couple of those flying through and all the data that they're outputting, you know, wind direction and temperature and all this good stuff. And then that all feeds into MQTT. And if you have MQTT in Home Assistant set up to auto configure, those new devices will just pop into your MQTT integration. If we go back to Home Assistant, I can share with you a little bit about how I'm using that data. So a good example, again, where we started this conversation is weather data. I'm capturing a couple local weather stations here that are, you know, attached to my neighbors' homes and whatnot. And they're giving, you know, good, basically real-time data of temperature, humidity, and ultraviolet index, wind speed, gusts, wind direction, all kinds of stuff, rainfall on some of them, all kinds of stuff. And I like this particular card here. It's this Windrose card here, which gives you that wind speed, direction, and intensity kind of at a good visual representation. Very cool. And hey, I didn't have to buy an expensive weather station. I bought a very cheap SDR dongle to read existing weather stations already out there and floating around in the neighborhood somewhere. I'm also learning more and more about how to read other interesting things, again, such as my utility meter is a great example. If you have questions, which I'm sure you do, I know I have tons when I got started on this and I still have questions, please drop those down in the comments. I'm happy to engage with you and help you figure out the best path to get the data you're looking for. There's a bit of nuance and art to it, so I'm happy to help out where I can. If you found this helpful, please do give me a thumbs up. It helps a lot. Do subscribe and hit that notification bell so you see the next video coming in. I've got a few other fun ones coming up real soon here. Thanks for joining me. Hope you have a great day. I'll see you soon.